When Iraq appears in news programmes, it's usually to preface a story of death and destruction. But 10 years on from the start of the Iraq War, the country's artists are seeking to make a return to the world stage. 11 of them have travelled to Venice to mount an exhibition that's designed to demonstrate the everyday realities of life in their country. And our culture editor, Matthew Kane, has been to meet some of them.
Romantic, stylish and glamorous. The kind of words many of us might associate with Venice, although probably not on the tips of our tongues when it comes to Iraq. But now, 10 years after the outbreak of war and the downfall of Saddam Hussein, 11 Iraqi artists are hoping to change perceptions of their country with a new show at the Venice Biennale art exhibition. It showcases painting, sculpture and cartoons, all of which explore the reality of life in Iraq. Farhat Al-Jamil has created this sculpture of a honeycomb dripping healing sweetness into a broken pot which has been in her family for 300 years. It's intended as a metaphor for the broken Baghdad in which she lives and struggles to practice as an artist.
It takes you hours to go from A to B, and at the same time it's not only the time-consuming effort you have to go through, but also you have this psychological pressure that any moment anything can happen to you. And then you get home and there is no power, then you have to see what happened and the electrical cord has fallen down. There's so many things that is time-consuming and consuming your inner powers.
This is the first time in more than 3 decades that artists living and working in Iraq have taken part in the Venice Biennale. 2 years ago, the country re-established its presence here, but was only able to mount an exhibition of work by artists living in exile. Now, Welcome to Iraq is intended as a signal of the country's artistic reawakening and a desire to culturally re-engage with the world. The exhibition has been put together by British curator Jonathan Watkins. He travelled in a convoy of armoured cars from Basra to Kurdistan in a search for artists to take part in the show.
It's not easy to travel around Iraq. The infrastructure is very chaotic and there's nobody there to consult. I mean, there are no curators to ring up when you get to Baghdad and say, please tell me, how the scene is in Basra. You're more or less going from one artist to another, dealing with very raw material.
The exhibition includes several pieces made from waste products and discarded objects, reflecting the scarcity of artist materials in Iraq. And Kurdish artist Jamal Penjwani has produced a series of photographs called Saddam is Here, which explore Saddam Hussein's ongoing influence on the Iraqi people.
I remember when I was a child in our classroom, and there's a picture of Saddam still everywhere. Saddam was for us like Godfather. I discovered in the psychology of the people, the way they live, the way they love. There's a lot of Saddams inside the people.
Living through a dictatorship and then war meant that artists in Iraq became cut off from the global artistic community, something Farhat Al-Jamil is hoping to address during her time at the Biennale.
We can see new artworks and, of course, artwork that are appreciated in the world nowadays. And you get inspiration, and at the same time, you will more and more can take with you things from here to bring back to Iraq and talk about it, or to bring back catalogs or whatever for other people to see.
Welcome to Iraq is showing in a 16th century palace, which also houses a kitchen where traditional Iraqi tea and pastries are served. The idea is to provide a forum where Iraqi artists can re-engage with the international artistic community, as well as showing the world that there's more to Iraq than war and destruction. Matthew Kane, Channel 4 News, Venice.